Evening, Goeienaand, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Mulweni, good citizens. My association with the groundbreaking, innovative project of School at the Center of the Community has been exhilarating and humbling, while at the same time, a great learning experience. As a fairly young principal who inherited staff with the average age of 50, I realized that the success of any school reform would largely be dependent on the motivations and capacity of me, the principal. The array of workshops, that is, the community building methodology, flawless consulting, and time to think, just to name a few, made me more of a lateral thinker. I no longer speak of the apathetic parent, and instead recognize that it's short-sighted to talk of the interests of the community without understanding what the interest of the individual is. I always harbored the notion that parental involvement was crucial, but made no progress before being exposed to Peter Block's methodology. I felt empowered about it after attending the flawless consulting workshops, to have the difficult conversation with two senior staff members whose private problems were impacting negatively on the morale of the staff and the discipline of the learners. The Time to Think workshop highlighted that even though I view myself as a very optimistic individual, my thinking was often limited, but once the incisive question is posed, these limitations are removed. The community of practice sessions where the 10, or rather 9 partners for possibility and principles met once a month were energizing, uplifting, and allowed for the sharing of good practice. Initially, the notion of a partner was daunting because I had to learn to open myself. This made me feel vulnerable. At the same time, it was very comforting to have someone I could offload to and help me to think, be my coach. My exposure to the School at the Center of the Community, moreover, added to my growth as a principal enrolled in the ACE Leadership and Management, allowing me to complete the course with a distinction. I also proudly included in my presentation for a school hall, both to Mr. Daniels as well as to your NGO, about the various programs that the school is involved in. And the innovative School at the Center of the Community project definitely contributed to the school being singled out as worthy of building a school hall by October 2012. I do believe in moral leadership and consciously treat staff as professionals and learners with warmth. I take the lead, remain even-tempered, and see the task through to the end. I acknowledge and show appreciation to parents and staff, both verbally and via merit certificates. I make more of an effort to find out how family members are, as I now understand that individuals cannot divorce themselves from their private lives. The impact of the project on the staff has been subtle. The educator who was so negative-minded and angry, after our conversation, spent some time reflecting and reported to me that she was going to change her methodology to make teaching more pleasurable for both her and her students. She is calmer, she's a calmer, happier person, and has on more than one occasion offered her assistance freely. The other, a SGB educator, realized it was time to retire, as both he and his students were suffering due to his age and mental health. We as a staff affirm one another more, and staff members have reflected on the warmth and camaraderie that exists in the staff room. The impact of the project on our grade 6 and 2 learners was a resounding success based on the learner and parent attendance and engagement. A real sense of community spirit was felt at this session. Both learners and parents listened without interruption to one another. Learners expressed to their parents their concerns and their dreams, while their parents listened and expressed their fears and hopes for their children. Through networking, our school is the only school in the Western Cape where the NGO Media Monitoring Africa has trained 2 staff members and 40 learners on children's rights. And this media monitoring has become a part of the extramural program. And the work is used to publish a book on the sensitivity of whether media is sensitive to children's rights, rather. Last week, I hosted and facilitated, together with the assistance of my very good friend, Ridwan Samodi, another community building session with the general parent population. And this time, instead of the 40-odd parents attending, we had 124 parents attending, and many of them made commitments to assist the school. Through networking, I learned of the WordWorks parenting literacy program, and since then we have 3 trained educators who have run 4 successful 7-week parenting literacy workshops, training 40 parents. Since then, we have 4 volunteers who come in on a daily basis to assist with reading. As you can hear, our gifts have been bountiful intrinsically, but we have also received through association 10 refurbished computers, 10 plants for Arbor Day, and 2 beautiful picture frames. Now, I would like to share with you the story of the Pelican Park primary family. Just as a family shares special relationships between brothers, sisters, the love of children for their mothers or fathers, so too does our family consist of staff members, learners, parents, members of the community such as religious organizations, the Neighborhood Watch, and the police of Grassy Park. We refer to ourselves as the family of Pelican Park Primary School, and I always make reference to this in my opening address to parents, learners, and staff. Every morning, staff members gather in the staff room to start the day by asking if anyone has any requests for prayer, and we end by acknowledging every religious denomination in the room with Amen, Amen, Om Shanti Shanti. A teacher will share an inspirational parable to inspire one another to do better and explain a teaching technique. It is a profound truth that the people we spend time with shape the path that we travel. Humor is the bedrock of healthy relationships. We use humor as a tool to ensure that our staff leave the staff room in a jovial mood to meet their children. It is not uncommon to see many of our learners hugging their teachers and greeting politely. The main focus of our assembly is the Eid celebrations. A display table has been set up in the foyer for the past week. Learners from different religious backgrounds participate willingly in a play on the festival. A Muslim religious leader is invited to address our learners on why Muslims celebrate this festival. Likewise, Diwali and Christmas is celebrated in assembly. Our school birthday is celebrated every year with interfaith service to acknowledge our motto, unity from diversity. In the past, our social responsibility projects was restricted to the collection of money and clothing. For Madiba Day, we've decided to feed 1,000 children and adults from the community close to the school. An appeal was made to parents for sandwiches, soup, fruit, muffins, and sweets. Initially, we didn't get a good response on the reply slips, but on the day, parents came with smiles on their faces carrying pots of soup and trays of sandwiches. Parents, learners, and staff members sorted and packed the items into packs. Parents, Neighborhood Watch members, police from Grassy Park accompanied us to hand out the food parcels. Where vandalism and break-ins are the order of the day, Pelican Park Primary has been unscathed, as it's truly utilized daily after school hours by 3 different religious denominations, as well as extramural activities such as karate, soccer, and cricket. On Saturday, I was working alone when I heard a knock on the door. Realizing that the gates were locked, I got alarmed. On opening the door, I found 5 Neighborhood Watch members who had jumped over the school hall and had arrested an individual after receiving a phone call from a neighbor. They then called the police. Whenever we have functions, both the Neighborhood Watch and the police assist with ensuring our safety. The police are invited to speak with our learners and assist with the training of our cadets during the extramural program. Part of the reality of life is hardship. When our family encounters hard times, we join together and we face the challenge as a team. When a staff member's son was killed, we prayed together, shared administrative duties together, phoned and visited regularly. We cried together and held hands. Other times, if one is not feeling well, then someone will bring soup or share their lunch. Having a support system makes life that much easier. Educators regularly bring extra lunch for children in their class, buy stationery, and ensure that the children are kitted in uniform. They hug and ensure their children feel safe and cared for. Last month, a mother requested a transfer as she had moved. The class teacher refused because she felt that she and the child had come a long way together, and she was more concerned about the child being bullied. And instead, she offered to give the child a lift every day to school. Parents who are destitute come to school and often leave with a bag of staple food and some taxi money. Staff have also established and adopt a learner committee to see to the needs of learners in the school. Sharing good times together is the greatest joy, and this is the stuff that makes life worthwhile, whether singing happy birthday or celebrating an accomplishment. And learners' birthdays are made special by allowing them to wear civvies and singing for them in the assembly and receiving a chocolate. Likewise, staff regularly break bread together. Just yesterday, a grade 7 learner who turned 13 decided to treat the staff rather than her classmates, as it's the last year at school. And our mum made for each staff member a cup of hot chocolate with homemade marshmallows and pies, and served pies and cake. This morning, a grandparent brought a pot of soup for our feeding scheme learners. This is just what someone had to tell me via email, a visitor in March. It was wonderful to get to know you this morning. As I already told you, you have good leadership skills. Before I came to South Africa, I just completed my bachelor's thesis about transformational leadership in a culturally diverse environment. You are the best example for a charismatic leader in your team full of diverse character, diverse culture, and religion. I was so impressed how you all prayed and sang together this morning to begin the day. It showed so much of character and identification of your staff with the school. Even the support staff are wonderful people. I felt so welcome and really comfortable. I could spend the whole day at school only to enjoy your pupils and your staff. And lastly, this is what a parent has to say about us as a family. You know the phrase, you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family? This applies to Pelican Park Primary School. Being a school of excellence, you are treated with excellence from the time you walk into the school, no matter your status or where you're from. When I go to school for whatever reason, I'm always greeted by the staff, children and learners, not just with a smile, but verbally. Although you have to make an appointment to see the teacher, they never refuse to see you. If there's an emergency, the principal will see you at the drop of a hat. While you're waiting to see a teacher or the principal, you can help yourself to a cup of tea or coffee. You leave the school feeling satisfied and dignified. What touches my heart the most is the support staff serving food to those in need every day from grade R to 7. My point is, you're treated as family at Pelican Park Primary. Let's face it. You have to act like a family member and respect others for others to take you as a family and respect you. And I think this project is once again just brought back to me that it's so important that we be in touch with one another and one another's feelings, that you just be open to other people, and people will in turn respect you and give you whatever you require.
Thank you very much, Vasintha.